When I arrived to Joshua Tree Highlands, I initially had other more digital plans for how I was going to spend my 4-week residency. When I saw the generous studio space and the desert view though, I was completely inspired and pivoted to make something more hands-on. I had done a costuming for dance class once in college, but otherwise had no prior experience making costumes. This month truly felt like a gift. Frederick and Jim were incredibly supportive of my pivot, and their support helped me to trust my own gut in this new medium. I think one of the best ways I could sum up my residency time at JTHAR is that I felt like a kid again. I had a cabinet full of tools and materials at my disposal. I had this incredible backyard to play and forage in. And I was in this beautiful space with vaulted ceilings and natural light, and I could sprawl out to my heart's content and have multiple ideas going on at once. I had the gift of presence and support. When I first made the creatures in Joshua Tree, I was fresh out of college and very broke. So I really was relying on one, what natural materials I could find in the desert that were already dead and wouldn't be too missed. 2, what materials I could find left by previous artists in the studio's treasure trove cabinet. And 3, what materials I could find for cheap at the local thrift store. This experience really changed my perspective as an artist in that my starting point for my design began with what I found, or the recycled materials that were at my disposal. The restriction of materials actually became my main source of inspiration. Mirrorhead, for instance, was made from chicken wire and a bunch of mirrors that a previous artist had left in the studio closet. I attached these mirrors to chicken wire with plaster and string, and added some interesting found sticks to the top. Tree head started with a dead Joshua tree head that I found during a backyard forage. The head is structurally supported by a lampshade, which is hot glued to a helmet, both of which were thrift store purchases. And the shaggy brown fur, that was the result of this giant spool of brown string I found in the studio closet. I spent 3 days cutting and hot gluing the string in rows to some clothing. At JTHAR, I discovered a whole new dimension of myself as an artist. I entered as a filmmaker who had a liking for production design, and I left feeling like I genuinely had a perspective to offer in the costuming space. After leaving JTHAR, I was dreaming about creating more creatures. My chance came in 2020 when I was commissioned by the Rhino Arts District in Denver to create more creatures for a projection film that was going to screen on the side of a grain silo. For this round of creatures, I had a much larger budget, but I still wanted to keep the same material restrictions as before. So these creatures were also made of found objects and recycled materials. Perhaps my favorite repurpose on those were cone heads' legs. I picked up a free artificial Christmas tree from Craigslist, I snipped off its branches, and I wove those branches through a chicken wire leg structure. That chicken wire leg was actually supported from crutches from a foot injury that I'd had the previous year.
Nice.
The creatures I made at JTHAR hugely impacted my trajectory as a visual artist. I discovered a love for 3D sculptural costuming.
It's so disturbing. It's amazing.
And I got to explore this dark, whimsical, slightly humorous perspective, which I now embrace as part of my personal identity. Thank you to Joshua Tree Highlands Artist Residency, and thank you for watching.